All right, on today's episode, Autodidact, a
Oh, this is
self-taught
good.
person who acquires knowledge. That is me.
Yes.
This is what I do. So I
Hey, there you go.
I
Yeah,
want to learn more about what I do.
this
So
is about
funny
you.
when you do something that you're not quite aware of, and then you're like, oh, cool. I didn't know that was a
Yeah,
thing.
you're right. There's a word for that. Yeah, I love that too. It's fun to
Pinpoint exactly
self-discovery.
one trait or skill that I would consider to be the most important when it comes to success in programming, computer science, or machine learning. I would say it's self-directed learning. In other words, being an autodidact. In this video today, I want to talk a little bit about why I think that becoming an autodidact is one of the most important things as a computer scientist, and I also want to share some strategies and mindsets that can help you to become one. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, but someone who learns stuff on their own without the need for guidance, without the need for a teacher. That of course doesn't mean that they don't use resources from other people. They can still read blog posts, read books, watch courses, watch videos and so on, but they don't rely on anyone else to take them by the hand and guide them through the process of learning. They're able to seek out information and study it on their own. And this is a crucial skill. When starting new projects, launching a company, or getting a new job, it's all about being able to learn what's needed quickly, not already knowing everything in advance. Don't get me wrong, long-term experience is irreplaceable when it comes to deep and holistic understanding, but it's not enough, especially in fields that are constantly changing and rapidly changing like computer science and machine learning. There's always new stuff coming out, new architectures, new models, new papers, new languages, new frameworks. But even without that, there's already so much out there that you cannot just learn everything in advance. So everything is about being able to adapt quickly, and I myself have done this many times in the past already. I've agreed to develop or deploy applications with frameworks or tools that I was not that familiar with at the time. Now, of course, I didn't lie, I didn't present myself as an expert in the technology, but I knew that I will be able to deliver the results that I promised because I'm able to learn new stuff quickly and independently. This is also why people that I work with are not concerned when I tell them that I don't have any experience with a technology that is needed for a project. They know that I'll be able to learn it quickly and properly, and they also know that I'm not going to request any help or resources from them. Now, I actually don't think that I need to spend much more time convincing you guys that this is an essential and very useful skill. But how does one become an autodidact?
So yeah, I just want to add to that real quick. So that is
Sure.
that's kind of how I operate. So I have dyslexia. I say it all the time on this channel. I couldn't spell. I still have a hard time spelling. When I was a little kid, there was no internet, no spell check, just me and the pen and paper, and I had these great, fully fleshed ideas. Like think of it as a comedian. The joke was there and the punchline was there, and I
Yeah.
couldn't get past the third word. I couldn't even finish
Oh
the
man.
good idea. So they would evaporate in front of me. And then I would sit there and I would
Yeah.
literally sit there and not be able to do what the other kids were doing. I couldn't go as fast as them. But my God, my brain, like it knew probably more than most of them because it was just sitting there
Mhm.
thinking about it and trying to figure it out. But I could not express it at all on pen and paper, which
Right.
is sort of why this channel makes me really happy because I am able to express myself. My inner child struggled to do it. So why do I say all this? I am an autodidact. So, and I didn't know it. So my whole life I've been tinkering. You can call it tinkering. People call it like what? Like daydreaming. So that piano over there, I had like one lesson once. I never went back, right? So I have self-taught. I taught myself how to play piano. And I've done that because I enjoy music theory. Music theory is like algebra. It's like any other mathematics. Geometry, it has a rhyme, a reason, and a formula. But the greatest part about it is you can hear it. You can feel it. Music is powerful. It's like mathematical sounds. And I taught
Yeah.
myself that over the years by my ear, by feeling it. And I used to not be as good. Now I'm better. There's other things that I do that are the same way. All I want to say is why this is important is because you throw the junk away and your personal yourself, you say, because you're smart now, because you're an adult, you're just smarter. You understand how you learn and you understand how you communicate and you understand how to talk, right? You learn how to perform. This is a performance. And then eventually you learn that you have to go within. It's silent learning and it's independent learning. Stop running around trying to tell people what you're going to do. Or I'm going to draw this picture. I'm going to write this song.
Yeah.
That's fine when you're a teenager because everybody's doing that. It's cool. But when you get a little bit older, you should be doing that as opposed to talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. I think about like I like to autodidact is perfect because there's a word for it and I'm so excited. I feel like that was the story of my life too in a lot of ways.
Sure.
Alex Karp, the boss of Palantir, a relatively, I guess, well-known American company. If not, they do AI for military and corporate use and other things. Basically, he said that in the AI age, he claimed, I'm paraphrasing, that the most successful people will be the ones who were perhaps diagnosed with dyslexia,
Yes.
things like that. Because he says they're very creative, they're out of the box
Yes.
thinkers, and they're just gonna, they're just gonna be able to function better in an AI world where
Yes.
AI is going to be bound by certain, natural limits that we impose
Of
on
course.
it. Let's say.
So those people are
yeah.
able to understand that limit and already know by the way they operate that this isn't a barrier for me. This is just a question that does not have an answer yet. And it may have an answer that is currently being developed by other minds in the field who are writing papers, writing a book, and that book becoming a foremost in that field, such as Newton and Einstein, right? People refer to them all the time. We have newer ones like Elon Musk and stuff like that, but that's why it's important, or why it's cool for people like myself to get in those fields, because we are the ones who see the electric in the air. We see it.
Yeah.
Like we feel it. And we're at our worst when we can't express ourselves like that. Be it like genius, savant, something like that. We need it because it is who we are as a person. It's how we expressed ourselves to the world and the universe. And we need to do it because if we don't, it hurts us.
Yeah. And I think both the people with those skills and different ways of thinking, society needs them.
Yeah.
It needs them. There's going to be a way of thinking that's going to like maybe break us out of that rut, let's say, that we might find ourselves in at certain points and advance us in ways that we, I can't imagine right now, but perhaps, we need people like that.
Yeah.
Who are out of the box thinkers, who are able to see the electricity in the air, or they could teach themselves music. Music, I like to play music as well. I tend to, I'll start out with lessons and then I take it from there. It's kind of
excellent.
my thing.
Of course.
Look something up and take it from there. So I like to have fun trying to play different songs by ear. The Jeopardy theme.
Let me ask you, you don't play piano. You could play piano, but what is the instrument that you play?
Oh, yes. I play the clarinet. So I took clarinet lessons in school, primary, secondary school. So, and I played in university a little bit too.
Nice. So
clarinet's my main instrument.
That's a woodwind. That's a woodwind?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a woodwind. So it's got the reed and the whole, and the different fingering and it's good. It makes sense to me. I like music because, like you said, or I'll paraphrase this too. It's like mathematics with feeling. There's a pattern to it. Sure. You learn the pattern and then you can apply your feeling to it.
Yes.
So, and that's the fun. And, and to me, it's fun. I like trying to play it, and I even like messing up, because when you mess up, I can course correct. I'm like, oh, that note's wrong. Oh, that note's wrong. That doesn't sound right.
Let me ask you, the instrument you play, you are almost always playing in an ensemble. You can play solo, but you're more of an ensemble kind of instrument.
Yeah.
Do you ever
you can play solo, but it sounds good in an ensemble too.
Do you ever find that when you're given your melody that you normally always have a flat in it, like a B flat or an F sharp or something like that? Because if I was composing, I would give you guys a lot of stuff like that. You're the guys doing the B flats and the F sharps.
When I remember, like, a lot of the songs I remember playing, just the ones I'm thinking of back to the sheet music, in my high school band, right? And a lot of the key was like, I don't know the key, but there was always a B, the flat key, the B flat.
Oh yeah, the B
or
flat.
F sharp. Usually those were the top two. It was rare that it was all natural.
Of course, right.
So it was interesting,
like a minor.
You're right.
Yeah. Can I share? I'll share something with you. I've become better at this piano in the past year or two because I finally allowed myself to play confidently, and I have grown to love B flat and F sharp. They are two of the greatest notes on that entire piano. They just are. They just are. And it's awesome that you guys get it. You get the B flat. You get the F sharp because they're the ones that take a melody and they put something beautiful into it, because it's like a half step. And then
it's those half steps.
And they return. They can even stay in their half step, while maybe like a violin will just cover a different part than you guys do. Which is so cool.
Yeah.
You know.
It really is fun, and like I just enjoy like I can kind of I'm rusty now. I'm out of practice.
You
to
should
be fair,
play.
but I still pick up the clarinet, and I should say I'm out of practice reading sheet music. I'm a little
Yeah,
slow
that'll
here,
happen
but
quick.
it's amazing how it does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
you lose.
immediately.
It's like a language. You can't read it as quickly anymore, right?
Immediately.
But I picked up my clarinet and I started playing tunes I find personally relatively easy to play are certain national anthems.
Me too.
Very
Me too.
relatively
It's funny
simple.
you say
Yeah,
that.
do you? Yeah,
I feel the
yeah.
same way.
So I can play just this funny. I could play Slovakia, Israel. I'm trying to think of some other countries. The U.S. to a degree, although I'm a little rusty on that one. And Russia, of course.
If I could toot my own horn,
Yeah.
my Star Spangled Banner has
There you
gotten
go.
much better. It's
Excellent.
Good. I don't
Excellent.
miss one
Yeah.
note if I play it at the tempo and speed that I want to play it. I don't miss one.
Yeah,
note.
yeah, that's great because Japan's another one I like to play because it's nice but you're right, like those half steps and they're simple songs, but I can kind of hear out, play it by ear. My neighbors probably get crazy when if you don't put enough wind behind
Sure.
the note, you get that squeak. For anyone who's
Man,
played
every
wind,
time I
yeah,
touched
yeah.
them, I just immediately was like, no, I don't want to. All of them.
Yeah.
I mean, like I never
Yeah.
had a tuba. A tuba's probably pretty cool.
Oh, that
You
would
know?
be cool. Yeah,
Got
that would be like
cello.
tubas and sousaphones.
Like-
I've always thought that'd be cool. Like,
I could learn another instrument. I just would have to learn the
Yeah.
fingering. That's what they call it, the fingering.
Yeah,
And
yep.
it would probably be a cello or a violin if I was to pick. I'd pick a violin,
Yeah.
but I'd also
Oh,
pick
cool.
a cello. Cello.
For me, I think I would try piano
Oh,
or the drums. I just have this desire to look percussion. I've tried brass instruments, so like trumpet.
Yeah.
I just could not get I just couldn't
Yeah.
play it. It was interesting.
You
Like,
know,
I just couldn't
now that you
get it.
mention that,
Yeah.
if I could play the French horn, I'd be pretty happy.
Oh, that's a good one. That
Yeah.
would be a good one if you could play that. Yeah,
the French
that's
horn-
a challenge too.
The French horn
That
is
looks
a
cool.
wonderful instrument. In my
Yes,
top
yes.
3, I would say.
I agree. I really like French horns. I'm amazed when people play them well because
Yeah.
it's a challenging instrument.
Very.
And to me, I'm always amazed that people have a talent that I don't quite have, and I watch them in their element. And it's just like, wow, I just really appreciate what they're doing.
Yeah.
French horn players are among them. Yeah.
They're definitely one of them. I
Piano
could,
players,
if I gave you a half-hour lesson about piano, I
Yeah.
could tell you would be much better for, like, you would understand it more, you just would. You would
Yeah.
understand the
Yeah.
philosophy behind it.
I would appreciate that too because
Yeah.
that would definitely.
One,
help
I don't know if you
back
know
on the
if it's like your instrument, but chords are you need to play chords on the piano.
Yes. Chords are very important. Since they're the kind of the building blocks
They're everything.
of music. They're everything, really.
It's what your
So
left
what chord
hand
you're in matters.
is doing.
Yeah.
It's what you're doing. Like your left
Yeah.
hand is playing bass and your right hand is playing treble, which is solo, which what you guys would play. That's more the ratio you're in.
Yeah,
Like
the clarinets are pretty much all treble, right? So
Yeah.
the piano's doing both, which I always thought was kind of cool too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought, that's
Probably one of
neat.
the most difficult things to learn in the beginning is to get your left hand independent from your right hand. That is like that's for
Oh,
me
yeah, I
is
bet.
it.
Yeah.
Once you break
That's
that, you're
good.
already better than anyone who plays, like, who's learning. If you learn that, you're better than anyone trying to learn. That's how you
That's
get
a
there.
great. That's a great point. You're right because the hands, right? They have to move. Yeah, they have to move independently because you're doing one thing with the left hand, setting up your chords, and your right hand's doing the treble. And I'm thinking like "Flight of the Bumblebee,"
Oh
the
my
most extreme example.
That
right?
is a hard
So,
one
like,
to play that
that's
song.
extremely difficult, right?
Woo.
But you really have to. I'm just imagining. I've played the clarinet part in that. And let me tell you that that was brutal. I mean, I was a disaster.
I
but
looked
it
at the
was fun to
sheet
try.
music for that once, and I looked at the actual speed in which the notes need to be played.
Yeah.
We're not talking
Yeah.
16th notes. This is like 64th notes and like 30.
Yeah.
It's all of the super fast notes.
It's insane, right? Yeah. And it's like, but it's if you can get that, I mean, yeah, it's such a
No.
cool.
It's not a thing you can exist in for long. Like, it's something that has to be a part of your
No.
life and you train to do.
No,
Like, nobody
exactly.
sits down and
Exactly.
plays that song. No, unless
you're not gonna
are-
run a 4-minute mile.
No
like,
way.
Having done nothing in your life, right before that.
Oh, one
So,
last
yeah,
thing
exactly.
about piano. There's one guy who I won't even. I could learn to play his music, Rachmaninoff. I don't know if you've heard him, the
Oh,
Russian.
yes, yes,
No,
yes.
I'm great. I'm good. I'm
You're
fine.
good. You're good. Sergei
I will
Rachmaninoff is a little.
listen to it and
Yeah.
appreciate it. I'm not playing
Mhm.
Rachmaninoff unless he has a
Yeah.
simpler piece that I can play.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's simplified
stuff, though.
versions of Rachmaninoff, but
Mhm.
real like don't. Oh my God, he's
Oh, I know.
he's
yeah.
different. He's different.
You
His
see, that's
music's
true.
like not as beautiful as Mozart or Beethoven because there's a reason.
Oh, you're right. That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
He's basically just beating up that piano with every single
yeah.
chord structure that is imaginable. Dominant sevenths
true.
and subdemonic sevenths, and like, but he's doing it at like blistering speed. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. It's insane. Yeah, but to listen to it, yeah, you really get an appreciation.
To
for
me,
what
it doesn't.
takes to
It's
play
not that
like that,
pretty.
you know?
It's just like ding 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 ding, and it's just a lot of that.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's true.
I'm looking for melodies, man. Anyway, let's get
Mhm.
back to this nice music talk we had there.
Yeah.
I want to
I
structure
agree.
the answer to this question into 3
There we go.
parts. 1. Everything is complicated until it isn't. Everything seems huge and
That's
confusing
good. True.
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
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 when you don't understand it. But everything also becomes trivial once you do understand it. When learning something new, we oftentimes don't even know what kind of questions to ask. We lack any context.
Yep.
We don't even understand what it is that we're learning. Over time, however, we recognize that there are like 2 or 3 key concepts, and once we understand those, everything becomes much more clearer and we get a much better overview. We read about the same concepts multiple times, and in no time, they're obvious to us. I remember what it felt like to try and understand backpropagation for the first time. I didn't even understand what I'm trying to understand. Is this a training step? Is this the same?
That is such a. That is if you the sooner you get that in your head, the better you'll be. You'll be
Yeah.
for it, right? How
I
did he
agree.
say that? That was a great 2 sentences.
Understand.
No,
Is this a
was.
training step? Is this the same as gradient descent? What am I even trying to calculate here? I was completely confused. What it felt like to try and understand backpropagation for the first time. I didn't even understand what I'm trying to understand.
I didn't even understand what I was trying to understand.
That is the story of my life in so many areas. Yeah. It's
yeah,
so
but
true.
you've used it and you've overcome a lot of things and you've
Yeah.
learned a lot.
Yeah. And when you look back, you're like, oh, yeah, it's so obvious now. But like, yeah, I remember when I was first learning it, and I'm like, oh no, it really wasn't that obvious. What am I looking at here?
Yeah. It's like the
Forex trading is a good example. Yeah, like, what am I looking at here?
it's like the
Numbers
barrier in
flashing on
front of
screen.
you is like
Yeah.
you're so dumb that you don't even know you're
Mhm.
dumb. Like you don't even know how much you're like
Yeah,
I don't know what that is, you know? You have no opinion.
you're right. It's like I don't even know that I should like. Yeah, it's like you don't even know where to start.
You don't know where to start. And then most of the
I've
time
known this. Like, what is this? Yeah.
it's like ignorance is bliss. Like that's truly what that is.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like-
you're right.
And then I guess that would lead to not even caring because you don't even understand what is in front of you, you know?
Yeah, like for example, back propagation. What he's talking about. I
Backpropagation.
had no idea that was the
Oh,
thing
I'm
until
looking
like
at-
right now. So
I'm looking at those formulas. I'm like, oh God. You gotta memorize.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Is this a training step?
Oh,
Is this
man.
the same as gradient descent? What am I even trying to calculate here? I was completely confused. Nowadays, I just look at the formula, I look at backpropagation and think, okay, we're just applying the chain rule of calculus
Yeah.
to see how the individual parameters, so the weights and biases, affect the loss so that we know in the next step where to go with each of these parameters.
So what he's doing is something I do in my independent learning as an autodidact is that I'm simplifying my keyword search that I usually do audibly because I can't spell, so I dictate. So I'm dictating those words and building my question. And then my question gets more simplified. And then when it's at its best, it's the most simplified, impactful, and gives the best information possible for that particular inquiry that I am having. You would have another.
Yeah.
That's not your aha moment, but perhaps it was mine.
That's very well put. Yeah, the aha moments come for different people in different ways and at different times in the process, right? And I can think of like a few of the aha moments that to me were like, oh, I had one recently in my trading. It's like, oh wow. Now to someone else, they probably had that aha moment, a long time ago, or when they started, or it was just obvious to them from the word go. For me, it took time to get there, but either way, we got there. It's like, oh, it just makes sense now.
So,
it's like the
so
it's
what?
staring at me the whole time.
Here's
Yeah.
my question: what is when success is quantified? I struggle with this because
Ooh.
I feel, as a whole in my life, I have done spiritually, mentally. I have succeeded. I have a master's
Yeah.
degree that I have worked hard for. And I don't say that to brag. I do that as it's a way of my life, how I've conducted myself in the past 15 years. Here's the question. If you don't get paid off your aha moments, but your soul is leveling up, that thing that you are is gaining strength and learning. Doesn't that has value, right? Doesn't
Yes.
have value just because you're not paying your electric bill. But you're
Right.
wasting time doing this when you could be doing something like, say you have a good job. Say all of a sudden you start
Yeah.
delivering pizzas in your spare time. You will have made more money. But isn't that part when you're not working very valuable?
Yeah, I'm with you a lot on that. So trading's a great example. I am not the most profitable trader in the world.
No.
It's only recently that I've become break even.
Okay.
But I define success as the continuous pursuit of a worthy goal, a worthwhile goal. So it's just like, if I'm pursuing the goal, eventually I would like to get paid from it, another stream of income. That would be awesome. That's kind of the goal. But what I've learned from it has been it's kind of a meditative act for me too. I've learned about self-control. I've learned about my emotions, my state of mind, how it affects what I'm doing. So those are successes to me too, because they have enhanced my well-being. I behave differently at work as a result. I'm calmer in stressful situations. So no, am I making money yet? Not yet, but I've gotten a lot of other things out of it too that I think are measurable. It's enhanced my relationships with people. It's enhanced my mental health in a way. Or maybe damage it in other ways. Yeah, so
the discipline. It sounds like for me too. The discipline is giving you a reward.
Yes,
showing
the discipline is giving me a reward.
I'm
showing
give you
up day after day.
A big compliment. This show mainly is only me and you talking to each other, and it fits in my life really well, and it goes really well, and it's because you have decided to show up here with me 2 years ago. So you keep deciding. It makes me keep at it, right? And it's really cool in a way because I asked you decided. I had to think you wanted to do it. I had to even think to want to do it, and we still do it. So that discipline,
we're still doing it. Right?
It's pretty
You're
cool.
absolutely right. The discipline can be its own reward, right? Like I come out, like today, I won't lie, I was exhausted before I came on board. I was entertaining over the weekend. I had it was a lot of fun, and I stayed up late. But I said no. I said I'm going to be here, tonight, and I'm going to be here tonight. I'm going to put on with the show, and I feel great doing that.
Yeah, when you're in it feels great. Yeah.
It's
one time you should do it. I've done it a couple of times. Just go back and put on one of our episodes in the background while you're cooking or cleaning and listen to the stuff we talk about. And once in a while you're gonna go, oh, that was good. I forgot I said that, or
that's the funnest part. I was talking to a friend of mine too, and I mentioned this very podcast, the Meta Bullet podcast, to him, and I said, he's like, have you ever written something and years later read it back? And I said, well, yes. And I've also recorded things on the Meta Bullet podcast here and listened to them much later. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe you or I actually said that. That was really good.
I know.
Wow, that was really deep. It hits you differently when it's later. Time has passed. Yeah. It's kind of cool.
That's why I like them. So I guess that gives me a lot of value because they're, again, I've said it in other ones, but they're like little pockets of time. And I've been on, it's funny, I show up here and I don't feel well, and I posted those videos and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the day I was sick, and that's when I was getting over being sick, and I could tell. And then I don't know, I just like looking at my background, like what I wore that day, like what I put by my piano, I don't know, it's kind of fun. I like to look at
it's fun to see what we wear too. That is interesting too. And I'm watching the screen and I look at, hey, we both look pretty good in that one.
Yeah, sometimes we match. So there's one episode where you wore green and I wore green, and it's funny. I don't know. We both got green on. One of my favorites is when you came on. You were all kind of like nicely dressed like today, but even more so.
Yeah. And I remember that. Yeah,
I had my military, my cop clothes on. I had my
that's right
vest on.
I remember that one too. I remember what I was wearing. Give or take, I had the tie and the nice. Yeah. I think I was coming back from a seminar or something, or conducting a class or something like that. Yeah.
Well, that was fun. So we learned about Autodidact. He probably had some more. good information. He did say one other thing that I thought had value, which is the third part. He says, learn to tolerate confusion and discomfort.
Definitely.
Yeah.
confusion,
Big
and
one.
discomfort.
That's
Being an
huge.
autodidact is not really a matter of skill. It's a matter of tolerating confusion and discomfort, trusting the process. It might sound cheesy, but you need to be willing to live at the edge of discomfort. Read
Yes.
news and papers you don't understand.
I have literally
100%.
done this so many times where I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's see how it goes. And then I just like throw myself into the situation and I get beat up. Like as a teenager, you take some blows. It could be in many ways.
And fully. Try to implement projects that seem too challenging for you. Push through that initial feeling of overwhelm and confusion.
Yeah.
Over time, you will notice that you encounter the same concepts over and over again.
Yeah.
And you will realize
It's that fuzzy thing in front of you that you've learned to like clear, to focus. It's just another one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
most things are just another one of those.
Exactly.
You
Exactly. You literally just said that.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. The
Thank you,
patterns. You
sir.
start to see the patterns. Yes.
I am an autodidact, sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
you are.
He's doing a great job. Hey, let me give you a like, buddy. You're doing a great job. We're just
There you
talking to
go.
a
Nice.
camera. He's doing a great job.
Stuff on your own. What you need to do is you need to fight back against the voice in your head that tells you, I don't understand anything. This is too much.
That voice is your ego. That voice is, that's it.
Well said.
That's
well said. That is your ego.
That's it.
The survival thing that's going off at the wrong time, saying, "Oh no, this is bad for you. You don't understand this. This is going to get you." You know, and when really it's not. You just don't understand it, and like he said, push past it.
It's
push through the
fear.
discomfort.
It's a lot of times
It's
that voice was fear. Yeah.
That is totally
anxiety,
ego.
uncertainty.
Much for me. I'm probably not intelligent enough. Now,
Yeah.
of course, it doesn't make sense
Yeah.
to read advanced machine learning papers if you don't know what derivatives are and you struggle with basic
Yeah,
for
sure.
loops. But
Like, don't do algebra if you don't know what an integer is. I experienced that. I didn't know what an integer was. And I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, wait a minute. There's numbers below zero. And I'm like, oh yeah, like 0.007%. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
right.
and then there's the straight up negative numbers, right?
It's
Like,
negative numbers.
Yeah.
it is always good to try to understand material that feels a little bit too much
and the
for you.
crazy part is there's way more negative numbers than there are positive numbers. Because you just put that point in there, 0.000 point, like there's way more negatives than there are positive numbers.
Identify exactly which sections, words, and concepts confuse you, and then use Google, Wikipedia, Stack Overflow, and other sources to try and resolve these confusions.
Yes.
Now, what's most likely going to happen is you're going to encounter more concepts, more words, and more sections that you don't
more
understand.
confusion.
This is how I feel about
Yeah.
the UFO stuff I've been into for about 3 years now. This very much feels like that, you know?
You want to repeat the process until you have the feeling that you understand the individual things that the paper or whatever you're reading is based on.
Yep.
Remember the first point. Everything will seem overwhelming before it seems trivial. And then everyone will think you're a genius because you understand something that seems overwhelming to them. But of course, you know that all you did was persist and push through the initial confusion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
so
bite
true.
off more than you can chew. I've done that.
And
Yeah,
you can choose.
that's a good
Now,
one.
this final
Definitely
point
did
is
that.
especially important for those of you who want to become entrepreneurs or freelancers. You want to put yourself into a situation where you just have to learn certain skills. Agree to implement a project using a certain tech stack you're maybe not that familiar with. Agree to deploy your application with Docker even though you might not really know what Docker is. Agree to set up a Postgres database even though you've only ever worked with MySQL. For this, of course, you should have some general skills already. This doesn't make sense if you're just starting out and learning.
So yeah, what I think that is so I'll just say it the way I see it. I'm constantly adapting my Rubik's Cube variable to certain things in my life. So I say, okay, I understand this psychology now. I understand this mathematics.
Yeah.
I understand these emotions. So I calibrate them. That gets me through that door, right? Then I'm in there. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. Now I'm learning about anti-gravitic technology today. Okay, cool. Absorb. That's a weird story. That seems plausible. Blah, blah. Go through the door. Boom. Now I'm talking about remote viewing. Oh, what's remote viewing? The CIA. Then you start getting the conspiracy theories, right? That's kind of what
Oh yeah.
I'm
yeah.
doing anymore with my autodidacting is I'm going into those kind of disclosure kind of things. And it is vast and it is deep. And religion's the other one that has these
Religion's an interesting
enormous
one, too,
rabbit
yeah.
holes. And even those can get summarized a little and get put into larger ones, right? Like Gnostic as opposed to the Bible as I don't know. It's just there's so much. There's just so much stuff.
There's so much knowledge out there. It's like the I've heard it said like the Bhagavad Gita is actually
Yes.
just it's huge, right? But that's actually just a small piece of the Sri Upanishad, which is
Mm.
also even bigger. But that's a small piece of another text, and I'm thinking Hinduism in this case.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah.
it's just so wild how much information. That's just one subject, right, or one world religion. There's so much information out there.
I was
There's so much to wrap one's head around.
I was impressed with your second reference after the Bhagavad Gita, because I just read that about that one today.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, and
nice.
you see, I was
Very
like, I
cool.
don't know how to
Yeah,
pronounce
there you go.
that, and then you
Yeah.
did. I was like,
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a and I might have said it wrong. So anyone who can speak,
Oh,
by all means.
hey man, just like he
yeah.
said, bite off more than you can chew, right?
Well, I like to use these kind of didact skills, so to speak, to update what I've heard called like my mental map of the world. Like if
Yeah.
there's a landscape, and I want to try to understand what's maybe beyond those mountains or over that hill, so to speak, that area I don't know. And if I can like update my mental map. So I'm looking at,
Yeah.
I have a model of the world that just works better
Yeah.
and better and better the more I learn. That's the,
Yeah,
you know,
I changed
kind of
the
the
way
goal.
I say all the stuff you said. I totally agree with. I use the word worldview because that's
Mhm.
kind of everything you expressed. Is for me, I just say
Yeah.
worldview
Yeah.
because that's I kind of am like you. I autodidact that whole thing. Now I'm like my worldview, and to me, all those words you said are there, but just those two.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Just then.
that's what
Yeah,
I like.
exactly.
That compression, that literation, right? That
Yeah, and you can exactly, you can take all that. Now, that's one thing I like when I'm talking with you too. Taking complicated ideas and summarizing very simply all that worldview.
worldview.
Perfect.
Yeah, but
Framing.
you express it well.
Yeah.
You say
Yeah,
it correctly, and
That's cool.
a person doesn't have to look at it as a worldview. They could imagine if you keep saying it like you said it every time you thought it, it'd be a lot of extra.
A lot of extra.
Yeah, as opposed to the knowing, but you're being a good
Quite a
teacher.
few brain cells.
You're being a
Yeah.
good. You're educating, and a teacher. You're painting the picture, which is very
Yeah,
important.
painting the picture exactly. And some you can have more detail or less depending where you want to go, or zoom in, zoom out. That's another fun part about
Yeah.
learning. You zoom into certain things and really get into details. Sometimes you have to zoom out, look at the big picture. Get like the overview.
I think
Like,
they're
I see what's going on.
I think they're
Yeah.
both needed. I think
Fly in
that
the middle.
direct,
Yeah.
harsh truth is needed, but you also need that dreamer, that entrepreneur, that person that's outside the
Yeah.
box to paint the picture, because children don't come in this world knowing things. People get a little bit older and they think they know everything, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
decide to stop learning, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have for the past 10, 15 years of my life said, okay, I want to learn more. So
Yeah, you're right. And it shows too. I think it shows in conversations you've had, I'm sure, right? Like I know people, good people, but you can tell it seems like they've just stopped. They decided,
Yeah.
I don't know, consciously or otherwise, I'm not learning it. I know what I need to know, and that's it.
I totally
To
get
me,
it.
that's just boring. Like I'm like, oh man, I can't
Well, I think you
can't
and I
like
both
that.
have a pretty high bandwidth, and I think our memories are
Yeah.
both pretty phenomenal as well.
Mm,
You need a
mhm.
strong memory in order to even do this, because it's not,
That definitely helps.
if you're just like want to watch TV and sit in a chair and like pet your dog, then that's great. You actually probably
Hey,
have
that's
more
cool too.
peace in
I
your
do
life
that.
than
I do that too sometimes too. Yeah,
You know?
it's nice.
All right. Well, that was
Yeah.
another fun one.
Peace.
Yeah, anything
Yeah.
else you want to
Awesome.
say?
No, I think we covered it all. I think, or as much as we did. It's great.
Oh, we already did that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.